Hi everyone, good morning. Welcome to our first live service back after a few months of COVID isolation. Thank you, Sensei, for doing the service on Facebook. If you would like to join us in the next couple of Sundays, there will be a sign up genius going out, so please reply and then we will get you the proper protocol. For those of you who've joined us today, at the end of the service, so there'll be no chanting and no, of course we don't sing, so no singing. Please keep your face masks on. And at the end of the service, I will direct people out, so if you could so we can keep our 6 foot separation. Last is, we do not want our temple to be a focal point of infection, so no congregating in the temple or even outside. If you can, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lester. We'll begin with a few moments of meditation. So please get comfortable in your seats. Maybe take a couple of deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Just start to relax the body and the mind. And one more breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And now start to breathe normally through your nose. And you can close your eyes or just have them slightly open. Meditation will begin with the sound of the bell. And when we hear the sound of the bell for the second time, we'll gently open our eyes and join our hands together in Gasho. Bring your awareness to your feet. Notice if you have any tension in this area, and relax your feet as you breathe out. Bring your awareness to your legs. Notice if you have any tension in this area, and relax your legs as you breathe out. Your awareness to your hips and hip area. Notice if you have any tension in this area. And relax your hips and your hip area as you breathe out. Bring your awareness to your arms and hands. Notice if you have any tension in this area. And relax your arms and hands as you breathe out. Bring your awareness to your abdomen, your chest, and your back. Notice if you have any tension in this area. And relax your abdomen, your chest, and your back as you breathe out. Bring your awareness to your shoulders, your neck, and your head. Notice if you have any tension in this area. And relax your shoulders, your neck, and your head as you breathe out. Bring your awareness to your forehead, your eyes, around your eyes, your jaw, and your tongue. Notice if you have any tension in this area. And relax your forehead, your eyes, around your eyes, your jaw, and your tongue as you breathe out. reverently we come before the shrine of Amida Buddha, the Holy One, the Perfect One. With gratitude, we have brought our offering of love and devotion to honor him. We earnestly resolve to strive to understand his blessed path, so that like him, we may attain the peace of nirvana. Namo Amida, Namo Amida, Namo Amida, Namo, Namo, Namo. Now we'll chant Song Gujo, and it is on page 29 for those of you who are using a book. read the English translation. We respectfully welcome Amida Buddha to our temple as we scatter flowers of joy. We respectfully welcome Shakyamuni Buddha to our temple as we scatter flowers of joy. We respectfully welcome the Buddhas of all times and places to our temple as we scatter flowers of joy. Now we will read the Shin Buddhist life principles. In trusting in the vow of the Buddha, calling out the Buddha's name, I will pass through the journey of life with strength and joy. Revering the light of the Buddha, reflecting upon my imperfect self, I will strive to live a life of gratitude. Following the teachings of the Buddha, discerning the right path, I will share the true Dharma with all. Rejoicing in the compassion of the Buddha, respecting and aiding all sentient beings, I will work towards the welfare of society and the world. And now we will read the Golden Chain. I am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. May I be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. May I think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Next is the chant of Vandana Tisarana. Now we will chant Sambutsuge. 三昧智恵意徳無量修正経流人体前年諸分崩壊愚人人の空語外体無明欲ぬ生存用無因の死死人徳無量空五大知恵人妙光明意相神道大仙願が差分在所法可動生じ未不下段不正上位解任生じ行税三昧知恵以上合成特分不良志願一切空空一切大安慶始無分百千億万無量大小修行五者供養一切使徒処分不尿愚道賢正不逆異尿五者諸分世界無不影無種鮮道光明師匠変師匠公行税精進異人難量量が差分国土大義同種奇妙道場調節国尿内音義務当初がと愛民道断二切実法来生心熱上々意図がこ下落安穏五分神妙是が心象恩願の日力少々よ自己生存知恵無下上領子孫知が心量軽量心死食毒中学業精進忍辱不軽は Please join me in Gasho as we recite in gratitude the Buddha's name. Namo Amida Bus, Namo Amida Bus, Namo Amida Bus, Namo Amida Bus, Namo, 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 Namo. Well, good morning, everyone. Such a wonderful day today. The rain has been coming down for over 12 hours. There's large puddles everywhere, but the plants and the agriculture is really enjoying and nurturing up all this wonderful moisture and rain that's coming down. However, today is our first time that we've had the door open for a few select people that were able to join us since March 15th. And what a lovely feeling to have people back in the temple. I was sitting in the back before the service started, and I could just hear footsteps and some gentle talking, people getting settled down. So it felt like the temple was alive again. What a lovely feeling. And I don't know if you have that same sense at home. We tried to turn the camera around to get a feel that there's people in here. So it's quite a different feeling, and personally myself, I really enjoy it. So thank you all for joining me here today, and for you, those of you that are joining us for a live stream, thank you very much. Is anyone having a birthday this month? No? Well, it's my daughter's birthday today, so before I get started with my message for today, I'd just like to wish my daughter a happy birthday. And today I thought I would talk about the struggle we may have with things that we don't like, or being with people that we have difficulty being with. Now, the Buddha taught that there are 8 types of suffering that we experience, and being unable to acquire what we wish, and having to associate with those that we dislike are 2 of them. And through his teachings, we realize that this life is unavoidably connected to suffering. And a good example of this is by looking closely at the things that we find joy in. Because even though we find joy in these things, the joy does not last forever. And even our best efforts may not result in things going as we would plan them to. So thankfully, we have heard the Dharma and the teaching of Master Shinran, who has guided us to take refuge in Amida Buddha's vow of salvation. The compassionate vow that embraces and assures all beings of being born in the Pure Land, and the attainment of awakening, where we will have transcended our blind passions and departed from this world. When we are born in the Pure Land, we are no longer burdened by things we don't like, or having to associate with those we dislike. But to be born in the Pure Land, we have to depart from this world and leave behind all the things that we love and are attached to. And this is not easy for us. A great example of the difficulty of departing from this world is recorded in the Tanisho, and its translation is lamenting the deviations. And these are lamenting the deviations from how the teaching of Shinran Shonin was being misinterpreted just slightly after after his passing. Now, this was written by his disciple Yuyen several decades after Shinran's passing. And Yuyen records that he approached Shinran on the subject of departing this world. And this is what he wrote. Although I say the Nembutsu, I rarely experience joyful happiness, nor do I have the desire to immediately go to the Pure Land. What should be done about this? I asked. Then he responded, I, Shinran, have been having the same question also, and now you, Yuyen, have the same thought. It is the working of blind passions which suppresses the heart that would rejoice and prevents its fullest expression. The working of blind passion also causes us not to want to go to the Pure Land and makes us feel uneasy worrying about death when we become even slightly ill. Impossible, it seems, to have this old house of agitation where we have wandered aimlessly since the beginning of time, nor can we long for the Pure Land of peace, which we have yet to know. This is due to blind passions so truly powerful and overwhelming. Interesting. The disciple Yuyen and even Master Shinran. Master Shinran, we would consider to have attained Shinjin in this lifetime, or in his lifetime, spiritual awakening. And perhaps even Yuyen, or very close to it, having a strong understanding of the Nembutsu and the teaching, and what the vow of Amida means to us. And yet, Yuyen and Shinran had the question about, I don't feel joy, and I don't want to leave this world. Now, that's a difficulty that we have even today. So there is comfort in knowing that the Pure Land awaits us when our time comes to depart from this world. And at the same time, we have to learn to negotiate through life, enjoying the time that we have, even though it is connected to suffering. How can we begin to view the things that we don't like or have to associate with those we dislike in a new light? We can look at them perhaps as a practice, a way to improve upon our own desires to live a more Buddhist life. Considering having to associate with someone we have difficulties with. Is it the other person, or is it us that is making the relationship difficult? It might not be easy for us to answer because of the power of our blind passions. However, when we look towards the Eightfold Path for the right direction, there is a direction of right mindfulness, which says, right mindfulness guides us to cherish a good mind, for all that we think and do has its roots in the mind. And we can look at the Dhammapada for guidance, for the first two verses also reference the mind. Our life is shaped by our mind. We become what we think. Suffering follows an evil thought, as the wheels of a cart follow the oxen that drew it. Now that's the negative side of it. But the twin verse for the positive side is, our life is shaped by our mind. We become what we think. And joy follows a pure thought like a shadow that never leaves. The Eightfold Path and the Dhammapada help us to understand that our life is shaped by our thoughts. It makes sense then that the suffering we feel by having to associate with someone we have difficulty with is connected to our own mind, our own thoughts. Let's look at it from another angle. I went to a retreat last year, and Linda Creech from the Todo Institute said something that has stuck with me ever since. And she said, our view allows us to see things differently, even though nothing has changed, only our view. we think about that for a moment with the things that we don't like and having to associate with others that we may have difficulty with. If we change our view, nothing has changed except our view. Now this reminds me that we can become stubborn in our self-centered view and not understand the reality of life. For instance, is it a self-centered view that makes it difficult being unable to acquire what we wish and having to associate with those we dislike? If we look again towards the Eightfold Path for the right direction, we have the right view. Right view to keep free of prejudice and to see the true nature of life. Our dislikes are associated with anger and hatred and produce a narrow view of reality. The Buddhist path asks us to question our dislikes and to free the mind to see the true nature of life. An example of changing our view towards being unable to acquire what we wish and having to associate with those we dislike is to see this as an opportunity to practice compassion, kindness, giving, and understanding. Because it is easy to be this way with things we like and people we easily get along with. When we change our view in this way, we are more accepting to work through our dislikes as an opportunity for spiritual growth, realizing that our own prejudices contribute to our suffering. I don't know if you were able to join me last week, but this is very similar to, I mentioned the Jataka tale of the story of the mischievous monkey and the ox. The monkey was jumping all over the ox, was tormenting him, and the ox was doing nothing, just in allowing the monkey to have his joyful way. And then a forest elf came by and noticed this monkey, and noticed the ox, and asked the ox, "Why aren't you taking all of your energy and your size and teaching the monkey a lesson?" And he responded by saying, "Because it is much easier for me to exert my size and strength and just size and strength on the monkey when he's doing these things, because I have this strength and size over him, and I am so much bigger than him, and I can overcome what he's doing to me. But it takes much more strength to be compassionate and understanding with this monkey as he's being this way with me. Because he's not really hurting me, but he's just annoying me. It's difficult for me to deal with, but he's not hurting me, and I can deal with it." Now another way to view this is, imagine that every person in the world is enlightened but you. And they are all your teachers, and each is doing just the right thing to help you learn perfect patience, perfect wisdom, and perfect compassion. As a Buddhist, this view helps us to see our relationships, the easy ones and the difficult ones, in a different light. If you knew every person in the world was enlightened but you, how would you react to the relationships that we are having on a daily basis? Now, maybe to put a different spin on it, something that's more relevant or real for us today, is let's say that we were placed in a reality show where you knew that some people would be nice, easy to get along with, and others were told to make it difficult for you so that you would quit and not win the money. You would try your best not to get upset and angered in order to win. You would have a different view of the situation that would make it harder for you to get angered and quit. go back to that, our view allows us to see things differently, even though nothing has changed, only our view. And that is what the Eightfold Path and the Dhammapada and many of the other teachings are trying to explain to us. It is basically up to us how we view the situation of being unable to acquire what we wish and having to associate with those we dislike. And how we respond is what will make the difference in how much we suffer. The Dharma is teaching us this every day, except it is not a direct reality show. It is the true nature of life. Our thoughts, our actions, and speech play an important role in how we interact with life. Thank you so much for being here today. That is the end of my message today. To take a look at our views and maybe not be so judgmental even about our own views. Did you want to end with something, Lester? Okay. We have an announcement by Lester Kuta. Thank you.
Hi, thank you very much, Sensei, for the Dharma talk. And thank you very much for tuning in to our weekly Sunday service. And for the 8 of us that joined us live today, thank you very much. I'm not sure about you guys, but I found it very hard not to want to chant. But once you got going, it became very meditative. So a different perspective. As we go forward, our protocols will change as COVID changes, but for now, if you would like to join us, you have to join us on Sign Up Genius. If you're not getting the Sign Up Genius, please email us because we can only we have limited seating capacity, so we have to control that. And also we have to be able to do contact tracing, so we have to have everybody's email, which we keep for 2 weeks, and then we delete it. So. If you'd like to join us. The board really appreciates all the donations we've been receiving on Canada Helps. At this time, we can't do any fundraising, so there is no way for us to raise any funds to keep the lights on and pay our census. So if you do like us, please think of donating online to keep the lights on. Thank you very much. Hope to see some of you in the coming weeks. Thanks. Thanks, David.
Thank you very much, Lester. Did you want to say something else?
No, I'll just be directing people out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we leave, we all join our hands together in Gassho, and we recite the Buddha's name in gratitude. Namo Mins, Namo Mins, Namo Mins, Namo, Namo, Namo. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful week. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.